The whole reason I even thought to go get tested with my experience is that I was out of town actually, and then I came back, and maybe about 3 or 4 days later after my trip, I started getting just like an itch in my throat, and it was like to one side, and I didn't really think too much of it. And then within like an hour or so, it was my whole throat, and then maybe a couple hours later, it started turning into a cough. Within a day, I had chills and body aches, and it kind of felt like it was the flu, and that's when I started to worry. And maybe the next day, another 24 hours went by, and I just felt awful, and I knew I needed to go. My symptoms just got worse and worse. My cough got worse, my chest felt really, really tight all of a sudden, and all I wanted to do was sleep. I had no appetite or anything like that. And maybe 3 days later, 2 days later, I said, 2 days later, I had to go back to the ER because I couldn't breathe. And they had my results like when I was in the waiting room. They got them back, and they said I was positive and took me right back. And I ended up being in the hospital for about 3 days while they got my breathing under control, and I had pneumonia that developed, so it was kind of all like super quick. I have asthma, and I have about a few years ago they had told me, my doctor had told me that I had smaller than normal lungs, so my lungs don't fill up my whole rib cage. And so I'm kind of working with less, so it kind of put me at risk. So my symptoms the entire time were pretty consistent. It was mostly body aches. Body aches were bad, the chills, no appetite, and then the on and off tightness with my chest and short of breath. That was pretty much a full 10, 11 days straight of that. And then I started feeling better. But then maybe a day or two later, I got really bad nausea, and that stayed for another 4 days or so, and it was really, really bad. And so that one's like just a new one that popped up, and I didn't even know what it was about. But yeah, apparently it's a symptom too that can come. I was taking precautions when I think COVID first started hitting, and then I think like maybe after Memorial Day, everybody started getting lax, and I was guilty of it too. I started getting more lax, even going out of town on a trip when I probably shouldn't have. I don't know if I got it from my trip or if I got it, coming in town. Who knows where I got it from? But, thankfully, I was the only one out of my family and my friends that I was around that got it. Everybody around me, about 7 or 8 other people tested, and they were all negative, including my children, so I was thankful for that. It was really rough, yeah. Having kids and then being sick at the same time and trying to prevent them from getting sick and protect them is really hard. Thankfully, I have a great family and great support system that were able to take care of them for the entire time that I was, quarantined. When I was out of town, I was on a girls' trip, and so we were on the river floating, out and about, and it was crowded where we were, and there was just people everywhere. And some of the places required masks, so we had them, but I mean, a lot of the places didn't. And so if they didn't require them, we didn't wear them. Most definitely, yeah, of course. Don't want to put anybody at risk, and me putting my own children at risk to get it, like it totally hit me harder than I thought. And so, I definitely wish I would have taken better precautions, and now going forward, I am. I'm still having like bouts of nausea, and I asked my doctor about it, and they said that they've had patients still months later with, you know, symptoms come and go, even with like the chest tightness and stuff. But thankfully, I haven't had, but who knows how long I'll deal with that. Honestly, the people in my age group, I don't think are taking it very seriously. They definitely should. Some of my friends that are around my age that developed it didn't get harsh symptoms like I did. So I don't know if that's a reason, or if, not a lot of people they know are contracting it, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't see a lot of people taking it seriously my age. Not affecting you directly or someone you know, it's affecting others and their loved ones. And so even if you don't realize it, you're affecting them as well when you're not protecting yourself, you're not helping them or protecting them at all. Hopefully you take precautions, because you definitely don't want it for yourself. Definitely don't want it for your loved ones. And young people are dying too. It's just not the elderly. It's just not the middle-aged class. Like, it's everyone.